Big yawn. Howdy, folks. It is Buttons with Gone Rogue Games, who is busy at work yawning. And we got me as usual. We are not out in the canyons today. We are here at the store because we have a lot to unbox and get shipped off. And we have a lot coming up here for One Piece, for Magic, Final Fantasy. We have Pokemon coming out. We have so much stuff. So I need to get busy, clean the store, organize the store, and get it all ready for the upcoming releases. Now, a few things. Pokemon has been rolling in. You can see I've got booster boxes coming in for Surging Spark and for Twilight Masquerade and Journey Together. The problem is distributors continue to be the biggest greed monsters ever. I have had to pay a ton of money, a huge premium for all of these boxes. So for those of you that are interested in these boxes, they are going for near market price. And unfortunately, even when Pokemon's hot, I can't make money on this stupid game because now distributors are being ultra greedy. So something needs to happen, in my opinion, with distributors. I don't know why they're doing this. I think they've forgotten that they're a distributor, that their whole point to existence is to distribute at the agreed upon prices from the manufacturers to then stores. They're like a middleman of a middleman, and that's the perk of being a distributor. It's all about mass quantities going out, and man, oh man, have they started playing the market. And it's not just one or two distributors, most of them are doing this. And like I said, the margins on this compared to market aren't even that great. It's the only way I can actually get Pokemon is to pay a hefty premium before then I can sell them on the open market or here at the store. So anyway, I know it's frustrating for everyone that wants to buy Pokemon. I'm frustrated too. This is the only way that we've been able to make it work. But I have been throwing these up on, I have what's called the Rogue Market Sheet. So if you are a patron, I only sell to patrons. I do not sell to the general public because the general public is miserable to deal with. So that's just I like working with people who I know and who I can track down and who isn't going to scam me. So there's a lot of scamming still going on in the TCG world, and I just choose not to deal with it. So love working with my patrons. So if you are patrons, head over to that sheet and you can see some of the stuff that's come in. Like I said, there's Journey Together boxes that have come in. We got Twilight Masquerade, we got Surging Spark, we have Prismatic Evolution bundles, and I think we got some Twilight Masquerade bundles here, as well as like some 151 posters. But again, guys, I'm not joking how much I've had to pay for these stupid things. Like these, I remember that originally these were like 15 bucks or something, or even less than that, I think, for like the poster collections. They're quite cheap. I've had to pay insane prices for these. I'll have to find how much I had to pay for them and show. But yeah, it's been miserable to try to get Pokemon. Lorcana, and this one's another interesting one right now. Let's just go, I guess we'll just go through the games and talk about what I've been seeing. Lorcana's weird. There isn't any available at distribution. Like, I can't get booster boxes except for, I think there's like one set that's still available, but they're not really going for anything on the open market either. So Lorcana's just in a weird spot. I mean, it really hasn't struggled like Star Wars Unlimited. There still is good pre-orders for people that want to get in the Jafar set. We had an announcement of rotation happening for Lorcana, which I think is now absolutely legitimate for the game. For a Fantasy Flights game, it hasn't been managed as miserable as some of the other games in the past. Hopefully, Lorcana can figure out how to make their game collectible again. They're really struggling from Pokemon taking over that market. We all thought that Lorcana would be competing with Magic and would siphon off Magic players. But what I'm seeing from the Lorcana dip from the first two sets to now is that all the collectors went back to Pokemon. So we had the same people that were flashing Mickey Mouses on the Twitters and the TikToks that now you go and watch the same people that were opening up Lorcana nonstop on stream, and they're opening up just Pokemon. So it just seems that whole demographic's gone now. So the only people that are playing Lorcana are kind of the diehard fans of the game. And so Lorcana is big. I think they're doing okay there on the organized play side of things. What they need to figure out is to get people back into collectability. And the only way they can really do that is maybe go down this road with like collector's edition, which I absolutely hate, or somehow give incentive for people to start opening up these booster boxes. And again, they need to figure out their print runs. They need to figure out how to get those collectors back in because that's the thing they're struggling. Let's talk about this one, Metazoo. This one is actually doing a lot better than I thought it was going to do. Distributors are now out of the first set. I believe there will be maybe a small reprinting, but man, we're back to this where people actually are buying Metazoo. What I've heard though from talking to people is that I shouldn't poo-poo on this game because Metazoo is actually being managed properly this time, where there's even rumors that Richard Garfield's involved. Someone can confirm or deny that in the comment section below. But it does seem, and they sent off these cool little welcome kits too for the store for I think there's some like booster packs in here, and this is kind of cool. So any people, they just had lists of people that bought Metazoo in the past and send it off to stores. So we got some demo packs and an alpha promo pack and an alpha demo pack. So a lot of different packs in here that are available in stickers. So if you're a Metazoo fan, reach out to me on Patreon, and maybe I'll send you this box, because right now, of course, we don't really have the market for it here. I still have Metazoo from clear back in the day that I haven't ever unloaded, so a lot of Metazoo still around. But to be fair, for all, I try to be as fair as possible. It is doing a lot better than I thought it would fare. So the hype is real for Metazoo. Hopefully they can manage it well and they can actually get, because I mean, I want all games to succeed. The problem is we're getting now Riftbound that's coming out from League of Legends. There's going to be so much competition, but I mean, the more the merrier. If we can get a lot of people into the trading card space and there could be enough to sustain it, then the more the merrier for, all the games. So we're looking at Magic here. Magic is in a very, very hot spot. We have things like Lord of the Rings that just had its last call, I believe. So set boosters and commander decks should start to run out. If you're actually looking at the TCG player, the quantities on the set boosters and the commander decks, they don't really have the best spread if you're going to buy them at distribution. However, the quantities that are available are very, very low. Talking about a set that just went nuts and is now incredibly expensive. Remember this, when distributors were fire selling set boosters and draft boosters from Commander Legends Baldur's Gate? I'm kicking myself. So this is still, I think, my most sold set of all times. And I don't want to say that was a good thing. I think that why I sold so much Baldur's Gate like a year or 2 years ago is because it was going for next to nothing. We were getting like set boosters in the 60s and 70s. I remember, and collector boosters in the hundreds and commander decks in the hundreds as well for Baldur's Gate. So everyone's kicking ourselves, man. I'm hoping a lot of patrons made a lot of money and held on to these things. I didn't hold, again, I'm more of a, I don't hold on to a lot of products. I just, still in the phase of growing the business. This is one of the problems with running overhead and stuff, is you don't have forever to sit on things. You have to be moving through products. And so, I don't have a lot of Baldur's Gate left going around here. Apparently we have some sea salt caramels. The chaos of my store, we have stuff just everywhere. It just makes no sense why it's placed where it's placed. Anyway, so that's Magic. Magic is doing incredibly well. I think the Final Fantasy will be the big the big question mark, whether it does what Lord of the Rings did and just sucks up all the money, and we see this absolutely bear market for everything not called Final Fantasy, or if it brings just a lot of hype like the Surging Sparks did with Pokemon, and leads to then people buying a lot of like the standard era products, or even what I am predicting is people are going to get into Final Fantasy and be like, oh, well, what else is cool? Lord of the Rings is cool. And I think we're going to see a massive run on Lord of the Rings. So I would not wait on Lord of the Rings. I can still get commander decks, which I'm very, very bullish on, and I can still get set boosters for Lord of the Rings. So do not wait on those. I know we have a lot of money coming up for Final Fantasy. However, I think this is going to be your last chance of getting in on this. Speaking of another product that has done well, is like Innistrad Remastered is starting to go up in price. This one's still struggling to jumpstart. Remember when these suckers were all the rage? So yeah, we have some kind of neat stuff back there. All right, let's swing back across the mess here. Take another look at Buttons. Say, what a good boy, Mr. Buttons. What a good boy, Mr. Buttons. And then come over here to Flesh and Blood. So Flesh and Blood is absolutely going crazy. So I guess I'm eating a little bit of crow here with the Hunted set and Rosetta doing incredibly strong. What I still don't like about Flesh and Blood is it is still struggling from its earlier year sets. They've never moved, and I think this is the problem with the game, is the latest stuff just is what's popular, and it has the opposite effect of what Pokemon does, where everything ages like fine wine, everything in Flesh and Blood kind of sours like grapes. So yeah, that's kind of my problem with this game. However, Flesh and Blood, the Hunted is doing incredibly strong, and High Seas allocations were super, super low. And I'm kind of disappointed because I've been taking all of my allocations every set for Flesh and Blood, and it seems like now they're low is because we've got a lot of other stores that got into the game and are now trying to compete with my allocations and everyone else's allocations, so there's just not going to be as enough going around for the people that have been there for quite some time, which is kind of making me upset with this whole industry, because it does seem that distributors continue to prioritize, or at least throw a bone to new stores and new people trying to get in the space, rather than stick with the people that have worked with them for years. So we're trying to navigate this one with Flesh and Blood. The high seas is, unfortunately, like I said, I couldn't even get more than a case for anybody that did order high seas. So yeah, another thing I don't like about Flesh and Blood is some of the direction they're going with their like box sets they're coming out, and now it looks like they're making a deal again with the devil. I guess they know they do owe Rudy a lot for getting their game going, but I still think that the Flesh and Blood struggled for a long time because of the nonsense that Rudy kind of fed them with their first edition boxes, with trying to make things. It led to a lot of speculation, led a lot to misinformation with print runs, led to a lot of overprinting, and led to a long time of the game having to recover from the damage that was done, just the brand damage from the absolute nonsense of that era. So it's still struggling from that, and so it does seem to be, they're going down that road with the Rudy promos, and Hype Man is back in the game. So again, it should lead to Flesh and Blood having at least a temporary bump. We don't know in the long term if it's going to have what I kind of like to call the Rudy effect, where things go to gold at first, and then they turn to poop later on when, everyone realizes the Emperor has no clothes. Anyway, love you, Rudy. You're a great guy. We've had a lot of good interactions, but sometimes, man, you make my life miserable with the really overhyping and over-speculating of things. Anyway, where are we at now? Here we have One Piece that just had an incredible release with the EB boosters. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get many of those either. They went to high tier patrons, and people have been with me for a long time. There will be another set coming out with One Piece, but it is still going incredibly strong. So overall, everything is I have to do another barometer update video, because I would put Flesh and Blood, One Piece, Pokemon, and Magic probably all at S tier right now, or the hot games. Everything that possibly not Pokemon and Flesh and Blood quite yet in S, but definitely Magic and One Piece I think are the hottest lines right now, because everything is selling like crazy. And we have a little bit of stagnation from Pokemon, which should see some recovery. It seems like numbers are going back up for Pokemon. But Flesh and Blood still has some kinks to work out. But again, like I said, I'm eating crow with the game. It seems like people are still enjoying the game, that it's being managed pretty well, and there's a lot of hype around the organized play of Flesh and Blood. So kudos to everyone that has stuck with the game. Like, still, I think my concerns with past videos were warranted for what the data that I saw, and there still were a lot of humps that Flesh and Blood had to get over, and so far it has seemed to be that they're doing the right decisions there with Flesh and Blood. Another thing I think Flesh and Blood needs to do is they need to pick up a few more distributors. Having only 2 distributors is kind of lacking right now. You can only get it from Southern Hobby and PhD, I believe, and so there's a lot of big name distributors that do not carry Flesh and Blood, which I think that they need to really shore up, so that this game can go even more mainstream. All right, so what does that leave? I think that just leaves what's left in these boxes. And like I said, I'll need to do a video, hold me to it. I'll do a video on the rogue market about certain products that I think are good investments right now going forward. All righty, so let me put this camera down here, and we will see what we got going on in these boxes. Maybe this is a good little place for it. Everyone sees that okay. It's a little bit tilted, but whatever. We'll be tilted today for tilted, not Tuesday. It's Wednesday today. And see what we got going in, and then we'll call this video good, and we will get to work. So if you are a patron, I will be sending out my numbers for Final Fantasy. Let me just tell you right off the bat, people are going to be disappointed about collector boosters. Numbers are okay for Final Fantasy for collector boosters. The problem is demand is through the roof. It's like I have so many people that want it. They're going to be super limited. No one's going to get more than like 1 or 2 collectors. I already know that right off the bat. I'm going to have to cut low-end patrons. I'm sorry. That's just is what it is. Again, I hope that people can find the value in the service by just doing everyday normal orders. There is so much value in, like I said, ordering things like Lord of the Rings and Tarkir play boosters right now that are they're very hot. Commander Masters is a very hot product. There's lots of things, I think. All right, so what is in this one? We got some Pokemon. Oh yeah, some Prismatic Evolution bundles that I had to pay a premium on. We got some. It does look like we have the super premium collections in here, and a Slashing Legends tin case that I had to pay a premium on too. Which isn't that a new product? And yes, so we had the Surging Sparks. So I paid So I paid $165 for these Surging Spark booster boxes. Just to give you that's above MSRP of what you could get them at Pokemon. So me as a store is having to pay higher for Surging Sparks than the MSRP was. So, and what are Surging Sparks going for, like $230, $235? So it's still pretty decent margins right now, getting in at like $165. And then after like TCG fees or eBay fees, or, you know, sell them locally, if I can do for like $230, $240, that's still decent margins. But I would still rather pay 90 bucks for a box and sell it for 160 any day than this huge markup now that I have to pay from distributors, which is just stupid. Like this is, and there's not a lot of them. There's 2 of them in here. There's 2 Surging Spark booster boxes in here. What else is in here? It seems like there's some battle decks. No one cares about battle decks, but here's another one here. So MSRP for this battle decks is 10 bucks. I had to pay 7 bucks a box. It's for battle decks. For, you know, isn't this a new product too? Or Kangaskhan and Grey Ninja? Maybe they're older. I don't know why. I think I had to take this as a bundle deal. That's what it was. A lot of the stuff that I didn't want to take. Here we go. Is another one. The Twilight Masquerade booster bundles. What did these originally cost? I believe they were supposed to be around 18 bucks a piece, around 18 to 20. I paid 30, a little bit over 30 for the Twilight Masquerade booster bundles in here. And I think the market price of them is what, like 35? They're not that great, or maybe it's 45. So I mean, the margins aren't even there for. And there's some sort of Pokemon bundle in here that I paid over $1,000 for. So we'll see what's in. So anyway, these are going to be everything in here that I had to pay the premium for. Just goes up on the Rogue Market. I'll have an update there for all of this stuff for those of you that want to get in on it. I highly encourage you, if you are a patron, to check out the Patreon. There's a lot of good services that we have going on over there, from pre-orders to all of this stuff. Like I said, I use the stuff I need for the store. Everything else goes on that platform. I want to consider myself kind of the LGS, the online LGS for everyone. What I tell people is you're really paying for my time. So all the savings get passed on to patrons. I typically don't take cuts on all this stuff, and you're paying for my time to help, you know, broker this sort of TCG stuff for everyone that decides to be a part of it. So what is this? So this seems like it's gonna be the Prismatic Evolutions ETBs. So there's gonna be more of these available for the Prismatic Evolutions. Yeah, both of these are Prismatic Evolutions ETBs. I got 2 of them. It's actually pretty good, decent numbers here for. This must be part of the April 2025 bundle that I paid $1,000 for, because I'm not even seeing them on there. So it must be cases of Prismatic and something else. I have to see exactly, break it down to see what it was, because I believe this is sealed still in here. Yeah, this looks like it's still Prismatic Evolution. So one of those was probably part of the bundle. I got a case of Prismatic ETBs. That's like $8.50, 85 bucks a pop. That's not too shabby. Okay, that's not too shabby then. So I guess that's another way how distributors do it. They're like bundling everything together. I hope everyone can see me okay without out of frame. It's not too like loud in here. All right, this box. Let's go ahead and open this one. And this is going to be, okay. So I knew there were like some of these tins in here. So this is a reprint of these tins. So they're not going to have whatever originally was in them, because I believe that these I can't remember what tins exactly these were. These used to have really good packs in them, but the story is with these is the Pokemon had some of this material left over. So they had some of this packaging material, like the tins, like empty tins, and this packaging left over. And rather than let it go to waste, they're like, let's just throw some new Pokemon packs in it. And that's how they actually do that. So don't be expecting to have like, what do these have? Like Sun and Moon packs in them, like Unified Minds or Sun and Moon, or like, there are some really good packs, I believe, in here. And yeah, so from 2019 is what this packaging will say on the back. But then when you open the tins up, I don't want to de-seal this because I'm sure someone might want this as a collector item. If you de-seal them, the tins inside them will have a 2025 trademark on them, which is, yeah, it's a very, very misleading, incredibly misleading, because you can look at the outside package, which is still sealed in this shrink wrap, and thinking that you're getting like this original product, and it's not. And there's no, I don't know if there's a way to distinguish it. So some in the comment section let me know, because we did this with the last ones, because it did say like 2019 or 2017 on the last ones they did with this, and then the tins themselves said like 2025. So be careful with Pokemon out there when Pokemon themselves is doing this nonsense. So you know what the best thing about ordering from PhD is though? Is these are the best packing materials. They're so much better than the plastic. So I love to stock up on this for the big releases. All right, so here's my Surging Sparks, the whopping 2 booster boxes that we're were allocated to me for their reprint. This is my little share of this distributor's reprint for Surging Sparks. Womp womp. That is insanity. All right, so we got these battle decks. Oh yeah, these are older, right? These aren't new. These Kangaskhan battle decks. I believe I had to take them as part of the package deal. We do sell a lot of battle decks here though, so they'll just go to the store and kids will pick them up. All right, so this is a poster collection. So probably the bundle had 151 poster collection. It had the Elite Trainers from Prismatic Evolution and the summer 2025 tin. This is not sealed. This is desealed, so let's go ahead and check this out. What's in it? Oh, this is the 2025 tins. It's in here. I guess we'll show this one. And maybe we'll get through these boxes. So we got the tins. I believe these just came out. Not sure what packs are in these. Probably recent packs, so they might be pretty good. And let's get through a few more of these boxes and we'll call it good. And I'll get to work as I am a busy boy today. Oh, by the way, if you are a high tier patron and if you did put a order in for the Marvel Secret Lair, I'm holding on to them here. Until people do an order because they're not worth shipping by themselves. Like, I have yours if you're high tier. Anyway, I was very limited to these. That's why they weren't available to kind of the lower tiers. So, all right. So here's looks like we got some more Prismatic Evolution bundles for Pokemon as I throw them on the ground as they are slippery. And we'll get that all organized together. And then this ends up being some bundles from SVO6. That's Twilight Masquerade, correct? So we got some more Twilight Masquerade bundles. And it seems to be that's like the reprints that they're doing. These poster collections must have got a reprint from 151. The Twilight Masquerade bundles and the Surging Spark bundles and the Prismatic Evolution bundles seem they got a reprint. And that's smart. I actually think that's smart for Pokemon. If they need to get packs back in the ecosystem, that's how they do it. It's these little booster bundles. It's the best way to do that because that maintains the collectability of the ETBs and the booster boxes. So, alrighty. Man, see what else is in this box here. Actually, maybe this one might be more interesting. Oh, that's a different distributor. We'll see what's in that in a second. I don't know if you guys like this more longer video where I just ramble. Let me know in the comment section if you want to see me back outdoors. All right, so this is my big unknown. Oh, nope, these are the Ultra Premium collections. And I got 8 of them, so there's 2 boxes of them. Let's actually look and see what is in here. All right, so they're a little bit slimmer this time. I guess they're super premium collections, they're not ultra premium collections. So there we have it, that's what it kind of looks like. So shipping of this won't be terrible. I'm sure I could find like a shoe box to ship these in. Typically speaking though, I do think you should. This is Prismatic Evolutions, huh? Man, this set seems to be like it's gonna be flooded. And do you get this like little Eevee pouch in here? It's kind of cool. See, I used to like know every product coming out and what it contained, and then it's just so overwhelmed. Yeah, so. Alrighty, last but definitely least, or not least, we have another distributor, which I believe is going to be board games, is it not? No, it is going to be Lord of the Rings Commander decks. Okay, so I just stocked up on some Lord of the Rings Commander decks before they sell out. So I believe this is all just going to be Commander decks, and I'm trying to build up my numbers with this stupid distributor because they told me I don't do enough magic with them, so I can't get cool things with them. So I'm just trying to like buy up some stuff. So if you want some Lord of the Rings Commander decks, please buy Lord of the Rings Commander decks. I think they're great buys right now, but if we can like drain this distributor and build up our numbers, that'd be great. So Lord of the Rings Commander, still a hot product. And if you know me, I like Commander decks. And if you don't like Commander decks, I have a couple of examples to tell you. Yeah, it looks like that's all this was from this distributor was. Yep, this is just all Lord of the Rings Commander decks. Okay, so I have a little product we'll show real quick as we can now focus on here. This is why I like Commander decks. These things they were like trying to give away. These Midnight Hunts and Crimson Vows, and now they're expensive and they sell. And the same thing can be said about Kamigawa. I'm out of Kamigawa. Kamigawa had the trashiest commander decks ever. They were horrible. They had no value in them. And yeah, I had to like take a bunch of them, and it got stuck with a bunch of them. And so I'm super, super bullish on commander decks for long term. The ones I really like Fallout. I like Fallout. I'm not sure if I like Doctor Who that much, but Fallout and Lord of the Rings, I think are just liquid gold right now. That's another one. Like, remember when this one was cheap, the Commander Masters, commander decks? And now there's Modern Horizons is another good one that I think is good. So long term, the commander products I think are great. They like, the casuals eat them up. Yes, there's no value in the stupid things. I don't understand why people buy them. Basically, why people buy them is convenience. It's something that already has everything ready to go. And if you ever built a commander deck, you know how inconvenient it is to find cards. And it's just like, I think people pay for the convenience just to have a base starting point to building a commander deck. And like, okay, let's buy this and build onto it. I like werewolves. Okay, I'll build this. Speaking of werewolves, you know that card from that transforms all humans, the mist form from, or mist something from Innistrad, the original Innistrad, like the 20-cent common is now worth like $6 a piece because it flips both. It's Cloud and Sephiroth are all the flip cards from Final Fantasy. Pretty insane. Anyway, there's my long ramble video for today. We're going to get these packages out. Appreciate everyone sticking around. And yeah, thanks for watching.